Welcome to another amazing episode of Shaking Up the Algorithms. This is DC, and I'm with my amazing, beautiful, hair done co-host. Hi, Miss Jones. How you doing, Miss Jones? Now you know I'm gonna talk about your hair. Stop it. This is our daily routine. Don't be acting funny because we got people. We got
I
company.
am doing
I talk
wonderful.
about your head every time, and your hair is nice today. And you got nice teeth moment today, too. You ain't got nothing in them. You beautiful. It's sparkling.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Hey,
it
that's what
is.
I do. That's what we do.
Unfortunately, though, I'm having a little bit of reverb, and I don't know what's going on here. So I'm gonna come off for a minute, because already the devil is a liar. So I gotta fix things over here before I come back on. So give me
Okay,
just a moment.
okay, ma'am. All right. Lord have mercy. I guess I'm a star by myself, huh? Okay. Okay, got my head shaved pretty good. Okay. Sideburns. All right, all right, all right. Holding it together, Miss Crouch. Okay. But you're right. She's right. The devil is busy. This is going to be an amazing show. And it's going to be off the chain. We're going to talk about unforgiveness. We have an amazing guest. Oh my God. Powerful speaker. Woman of God. Love this woman. I love her spirit. She is the truth.com. I cannot wait till y'all meet this woman. I ain't going to even say her name. I'm going to let Tomise introduce her. I don't even want to do it. But I will say this. I look forward to the show. So,
Okay.
look at the Lord. He'll do it, won't he? He'll do it. Okay. Okay.
Yes. So, as you were saying, this guest that we had tonight, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this show all week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, and I'm so excited to have her on. And
Yes.
I'm just going to give a little brief about
Yes.
our guest, so everyone will kind of be familiar with her.
Mm-hmm.
But let me get that info. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So, the young lady that we are bringing on tonight is a distinguished motivational and transformational speaker, coach, and best-selling author that had a business career spanning over 24 years. She specializes in empowering women, assisting them to discover their divine purpose and create wealth through mentorship and coaching. She embraces transparency and vulnerability, allowing her to connect deeply with her audience. Her narrative driven approach resonates with many, and I mean many, including myself, underscoring the fact that everyone has a story and needs understanding. Her empowering messages and insightful coaching fosters an environment of growth and development as she is passionate about helping individuals realize their fullest potential. So, with that being said, I just wanted to give a quick extra spiel because, she just special to me. So, I'm going to just highlight her and give her flowers real quick and introduce you to our wonderful, incomparable, dynamic guest, Robin Young.
Hi, this is Robin Young. So many people suffer in silence because they don't know their gift. When you know your gift, you know your worth. Your gift will make room for you.
All right.
Hey.
You pull that one out. You pull that one out the closet.
That Oprah intro. Look at that. I love that one.
Thank you guys so much. That was so beautiful. I'm like, who are they talking about? I want to meet her.
Right.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys for inviting me here. I really do.
Well, today we're going to talk about unforgiveness. This is the most overly used. A lot of people don't take it seriously. Word out. Period. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand the dynamic of unforgiveness and what it is and what it does, and they don't know the they don't know the outcome of what happens is to unforgive. Now, we can talk about it biblically. We can talk about it whatever way we want to talk about it. But unforgiveness, in my experiences, is it blocks blessings. It hinders a lot of things. It makes you want to abort things. It makes you second guess who you are. And you'll always be in the prison of that unforgiveness. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't understand that aspect of it. So, Miss Robin Young, give us your take on unforgiveness.
Unforgiveness it's almost like I would say a parasite. It goes through your body. It infiltrates you. And so I like to think of it as the worst enemy, your worst enemy. So what it does is it cripples you. It constrains you, because the very thing that you desire to do, you can't get there because of the unforgiveness. And they say, oh my goodness, this person did this to me. They did that to me. Oh, you don't understand. I do understand. I do. But I also understand the flip side of it, that it's going to tear you apart. It's going to penetrate your soul. And those of you who have been on Clubhouse with me, I have talked intensely about the soul, the faculties of the soul, the emotions, your desires, your intellect, your will. All of these things are in your soul. And when you don't forgive someone, it really attacks your soul. You'll have a desire to do something, but you'll think about what they did, and then it'll cripple you. You'll go backwards.
So let me ask you a question. When you're talking about unforgiveness, a lot of people that forgive are people that don't operate in carnality, right? What do you think?
A lot of people that forgive don't operate in carnality.
No, what I mean is, when a lot of people that don't forgive, they operate like they don't operate in the spirit, is what I'm saying. They are people that are like don't have a relationship with Christ. They don't care about forgiving. They just live life the way they want to live it. They don't really operate in forgiveness, and they don't know the ramifications of what it is to not forgive.
Unforgiveness is for everybody.
Right.
It doesn't matter if listen, for years, I walked in unforgiveness. I was preaching, I was singing, I was praying. I was doing all the things that you would consider spiritual, or being a spiritual being or spiritual person. Oh, I was saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and still walking in the spirit of unforgiveness. And you know what's so amazing about how we justify for unforgiveness? I'm not going to forgive them. I'll never forgive them. And then we say we serve Jesus. He died on the cross, and the thing he knew the things that we would do. He said he became sin that knew no sin, so that we may be made the righteousness of God. So he took the sin up on him. And that's why it's important to get an understanding. That's why he knew that the presence of God was taken from him, because the sin was upon him. So he didn't feel the presence. He took on everything. So we say we don't want to forgive. He knew exactly what we would do in the future, the present, the past. He knew, and he still took it on us. And then he said, I forgive you. But we say we serve a God. We say we read the Bible. We say, I believe I'm going to do what God says. Well, God just told you to forgive. Well, no, I'm not going to do that part. But you say you're obedient. And then you get up and you say, you guys need to be obedient. You need to be obedient. I walk in obedience. How are you walking in obedience, but the sound that's coming, resonating from you is not? You can say one thing, but then there's a sound that begins to release from you that says another thing. And those people that have a great spirit of discernment, and I'm not talking about a psychic discernment. I'm not talking about a spirit of gossip discernment, where you just, I'm discerning it to gossip. No. You have a messy spirit. When you have a strong spirit of discernment that is only given from the Lord or from our Creator, you'll see a thing and you'll assess it spiritually and with love. And some things are not to be mentioned. Some things are meant to be pondered upon so that you can get the best outcome. So a lot of times we take things in and we take it in and we want to gossip and we want to condemn a person, not to get the best outcome, but to keep a spirit of negativity going. So you don't have the spirit of forgiveness. So you don't want nobody else to have a spirit of freedom from that situation, that circumstance that they went through, that trauma. So you know how they say birds of a feather flock together?
Right.
That's what happens.
Right. Now let me take this step further. What do you think about when people say they forgive but they don't forget? Because in the word it says, God remembers everything you do, but he chooses not to remember it. So how important is it to not to forget and forgive?
You know, being a human, it's hard to forget.
Right.
Let's be realistic. I'm not going to get off into I'm not deep like that.
Right.
I don't get off into that. I just forgive. I'm not that deep.
Right.
You know why we should remember? Because history has a tendency of repeating itself. If you don't remember, you won't have wisdom.
Correct.
God can do whatever he wants to do, but we have this thing called the flesh. We won't have to remember when we get to heaven, but we must remember certain things, because if that's the case, I'll forget what it felt like to touch a hot stove. I'll keep going back to the hot stove.
Correct.
That's not normal, and it's not, it's not. I can remember the things that someone did to me. But the point is, I have a mind shift about what they did. I have to change the trajectory of my mind, the way I processed it, the way it affected me. You may get over the feeling of it, but you should not deliberately say, I'm going to forget. I remember I was going through counseling with this young lady, and she said, we're going to do this thing where you're just going to forget all of the bad things. And we're going to do all. I said, I'm going to forget. She said, yeah, we're not going to remember because I'm a veteran. So they don't want you to experience the PTSD. I said, oh, no, I don't want to do that. She said, why? I said, I got all this wisdom from every experience I've ever had. Why would I do such a thing? So if I was to meet an abuser, if you were to meet someone that abused you, raped you, and you don't have any memory of them raping you, 9 times out of 10, what will you do?
I see what you're saying.
You will approach him, right? Because we're so deep. We're so deep.
Right.
We're so deep. It's not that deep. And then you'll say, I forgive you. But no, you don't understand. You can forgive, but you must understand that person has not gotten rid of that thing that's inside of them. And they can have the tendency to do the exact same thing to you again. Because He didn't tell us to be dumb. He told us to be wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove.
That is true. That is true. That's definitely true.
Yeah. So it's to each his own, but I don't do that. And I don't hold people hostage to what they did to me. And I don't hold them hostage.
And you know what else I want to add to that? Because me and Shawan had this conversation before. One of the greatest lessons I've learned in according to forgiveness is God will use the person that you can't stand the most to tell you what you need to hear the most. And if you don't open yourself up to love and forgiveness, you won't receive it when you
won't receive it.
And I remember when I was in Miami and I had a roommate, dude from Trinidad, and me and him would go at it every day, and he told me something that God wanted me to hear, and I rejected it because I didn't like the sender. But sometimes the sender, you can't ignore the sender. You got to hear God in the sender.
Right.
So whenever I talk to people, I'll say, okay, God, give me stuff that I need to hear, that I need to filter. So whatever's left, let me use that or keep that to learn the lesson.
Absolutely.
And that was a hard lesson. That was David Christ, BC, before Christ. Yeah, I wasn't there. I was still fighting. Yeah. So the thing about it, so it's important to be able to forgive, and love comes with that, because you got to love everybody. That's why God said you got to love everybody. You do. Because if you don't, it will allow you to hear and only hear the parts that you want to hear from the person when you hear all of it. Expound on that.
Yeah, the guy from Trinidad, huh?
Yes.
My kids are half Trinidadian.
Oh,
So
Lord have mercy.
no,
Now I know what
I
I need
think
to pray for. I understand. Okay, God, I hear you.
I've learned to take what I've learned that I've learned to take in what even what I feel my enemy is saying. I learned to listen because sometimes they will give you advice that is good for you. You know
Facts.
why? Because most of the time people are cowards and they don't want you to know that they're
Mm,
your enemy. So what they
mm.
do is they offer you
I like
false kindness
right.
with truthful sayings.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
embrace it. And somebody said, Robin, did you know? That's why I don't talk on the phone anymore. I don't have conversations because my calling and the mandate on my life is so important that I must keep a clear conscience because I
Gotcha.
come in contact with so many people.
Gotcha.
And
Right.
it's not that I don't like company. It's just I'm very, very careful.
Right.
Robin, did you know? And this was the last conversation. Did you know that such and such was in there? They don't like you. I said, really? That is so wonderful. And she said, are you serious? Did that hurt your feelings? I said, no. That lets me know I'm in the right direction. I'm moving in the right
Robin, why,
direction.
Robin, why do people do that? Why? Why? Like, as if we're supposed to care. Why do people do that?
Because they're broken, they're hurt.
Yeah.
They just need somebody to listen.
Mm.
Yeah, and then they want to know how they want you to teach them how to respond if it happens to them again, because it happens so often. And
Mm.
not only it happens to them, they do it to other people.
Mm.
So they're broken. And so when you respond to a broken person,
Right.
you really, really put yourself in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because a broken person cannot relay a message well, and they can't take honesty well.
Mm.
If you give them honesty, they become more broken.
Mm.
Yeah, they do.
And this actually segues into what I wanted to show so that we can expound on this as well. So I'm glad
Shawan, don't put nothing on me. Oh God, you got a video of me doing something
no,
else.
this is not you. This is not you. Okay. But this is a really good again, this is a really good topic for us to expound on. So I wanted to kind of share this as well.
Okay.
You didn't have to understand the hurt to feel the pain, right? So in the same way, you don't have to understand the role forgiveness plays in beginning the healing process. Because most people believe forgiveness is a feeling, when it's really a step. It's the first step of many in becoming intellectually and emotionally self-sufficient, where you're not at the mercy of someone else's ability to admit they're wrong. Unfortunately, most people will never conquer the step of forgiving someone because there's no immediate gratification. But the older we get, I think the more we understand, forgiveness extends beyond one action, and it doesn't happen overnight. Like, you have to understand, in the same way experiencing that hurt was a process, healing is a process as well. And step one is removing the expectation that forgiveness is supposed to feel good. Accept your humanity and acknowledge the pain, the hurt, the betrayal. Acknowledge that and still be strong enough to say, I may not understand how to heal right now, but I'm choosing to forgive this person in spite of how I feel.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And you know what? When he was speaking, I heard something say, "Get all your expectations from the Lord." And so we hold people hostage, and we expect them to do the things that we're not even going to do sometimes, that we don't even do. And like he said, we must make the first step. I can remember, and those of you who have read my book, my chapter and Stand Up Volume 2, and I talked about my mother. She was 15 years old when she had me. And so I grew up with her, and I wanted her to be like the rest of the mothers. And I remember seeing her put the poison to her mouth, the cocaine, the crack cocaine. I was 15 years old, the exact same age she was when she had me. And I knew my world had come to an end. I was on my own. I had to fend for myself. Even though I had my grandmother, I had to fend for myself. I knew that. And throughout the years, she would do things to me and it would take a toll on me. And I can remember just crying every time she would say something to me or do something to me to hurt me. And I was thinking, why can't she be like the other mothers? Why can't she do this? And for years it bothered me. And it was almost like I was in competition with my own mother. And I just didn't know I didn't know how to take that. I was wondering, why don't you like me? And so I began to be resentful towards her, and I didn't want anything to do with her. And I can remember when I finished my chapter, I called her and I said, I wanted to call you before this gets published. And she was angry and we went back and forth, but I had forgiven her and I knew I had forgiven her. And the reason why I knew I had forgiven her because I had never had a conversation with her about exactly how I felt without crying. And I said, Mom, please, I just want you to listen. I'm going to read the chapter to you. She said, oh, that was so beautiful. I said, I didn't want to speak about you in a bad light. I wanted them to see that you were only 15 years old and that you didn't know how to be a mom. You didn't know what to do. And you probably had battles and fought things in your mind and in your heart that I didn't even know about. So why am I holding someone hostage over something they don't even know how to do? She didn't know how to be a mom. Some people don't know how to treat you the way that you want them to treat you. And it's okay to say, you know what? You're not treating me like I want to be treated, and I'm not going to hold you hostage to it. I forgive you for everything you've done because I put too many expectations on you, and that wasn't fair.
You know what? You just said something very, very, very powerful. And me and Shawana had this conversation too, because my mom was a heroin addict. You know, I was raised by my grandparents, and you know, the hardest thing to forgive is your parents.
Is your parents?
I mean, I don't care, like your parent, because that ain't no joke.
No joke.
My thing is, how I got to the root of mine was I asked my mother when she was on heroin, what triggered you to do it?
Right.
And she told, and this is when I knew that I forgave her because she told me the truth. She said her friend got killed in front of her.
My God.
And when she told me that released, it was like a burden was lifted.
Wow.
And I was like, well, my thing is, you don't use that to cure it. You got to forgive yourself and the person. This is what forgiveness does. Forgiveness. That's why in the Bible says, forgiveness. It's like love. Love covers a multitude of sin. Forgiveness releases everything.
It releases everything.
It lets people off the hook, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That situation off the hook. So you don't have to allow that. You don't have to be a prisoner of that thing. Because what it can do, it can lead into drug use. It can lead into abandonment. It can lead into all other stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's harmful to you and the person.
David, you're so right. You're so right. Because when I forget, it was something that happened when I forgave my mother and I welcomed her into my world as my mother.
Right.
And not the person that hurt me. Her life began to take off.
Right.
I'm telling you, she began to soar. She helped put the mayor of Chicago in office. Her business soared. She's going to be at my event in August. And I want to see her. We're grown people. I respect her as a woman. She respects me as a woman. And you know what? We can see all the things that we've gone through and we're like, it's okay. It was for our good. It was for our good. It was for my good. I had to process every feeling because I could not have an honest relationship. And what I mean by that with other women, because I was still trying to cultivate that relationship with my mother. Gotcha. So I couldn't be vulnerable with other women. I didn't trust them because I had to realize my first relationship with a woman was with a woman that I couldn't trust. Your first real relationship, girlfriend relationship, is with your mom when you're a girl. And when that's tattered and torn and all of the things that you think about a woman should have between each other, now it's distorted.
Robin, you almost made me throw this phone through this thing.
I felt it.
What you said cut through me like a knife.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, Robin, you're so...
The first woman you came across was somebody you couldn't trust. That's nasty wisdom. That's deep.
And you know what?
That's
They
deep.
would say,
That's
Robin, how are you supposed to say you help women? And that happened. I had to go through every emotion that a woman
right,
would go through. I went
right,
through betrayal from women with my relationship.
right.
I went through cattiness. I remember being
Mm,
in church, and I had just started going, going to church, and I was just saved. And some people can see the anointing on your life before you ever feel it.
correct.
And so it was a minister, and I was going to help the pastor, female pastor, which was my mentor, and she passed away in 2014, but she left me her spirit. So
Mm-hmm.
what happened was she left me her anointing, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
it. She had so much of it. She told me to wash her feet before she died.
Mm, mm,
So this woman, we were in church, and she grabbed my arm, and I told her, I said, I'm not that far removed. I just got in church. Now you don't want to grab my arm.
right, right,
Now, why would you do that to me?
right.
So, people do not understand what people have to go through in their life. We don't walk in, we have to say, that's why I tell people when I get on Facebook, Instagram, or if I'm on Clubhouse, you have to see them for who they are, not where they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
The finish line. You have to see
Mm-hmm.
through all of the stuff that they give you. Sometimes it's a surface.
Correct. That's true.
You'll
That's
see the surface, but you won't see this
that
because
is
you're not looking for it.
that's
I'm
true.
looking for it. I'm searching you. I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to find something. I'm not trying to find the wickedness. I'm not trying to find your anger. I'm not trying to find your idiosyncrasies and all of your low self-esteem. I'm not looking for that. I'm
Right.
looking for the thing. That's what I do as a coach. That's
Mm-hmm.
going to take you out of all of that. That
So
strength that is going to dismiss all of that and put it in its place to take you to the next level. And that's freedom in your mind, in your soul, your emotions, your affections, your desires, your intellect, the way you process information. Reprogram you. That's why it's so important to take a step to forgive, because if you don't, it will cause you to be consumed.
right. So let me ask you a question. When you said that the first woman, which is your mom, that you couldn't trust, did you find or seek other mother figures or to gravitate to, and how did that work out?
Oh my goodness, all the time. And some of them, I'm telling you, I was every woman, older woman in the church, I would gravitate to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, and that's why I'm still like that. If you are my Clubhouse, I'm very kind to the older women.
Mm.
It's not so much that they're older. I know that they have a story.
Right.
Whether it was good or bad, whether they were a prostitute in their young age, whether they were on drugs, whether they didn't do their children right, whether they had a problem with drinking, they still have a story. And for them to be here, I want to respect their story.
Right.
And so my mentor, she used to always say, "Hi, Robbie, this is your second mom." She never disrespected my mother's place in my life. And she knew the story.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I did. And I got burned a few times because I had one older lady and she wanted to be with my first husband.
Wow.
Oh, well, but
Wow.
you know what? You got to be careful who you trust in the church.
This is true.
That's a whole nother sermon for a different day.
It is indeed.
But she knew that I craved that motherly attention. So what she did is she played on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful who you yoke up with and who you listen to just because they're older. Because we have some old fools. And they're worse. They're the worst. Because now they have experience and they've seen things. They know things that you don't know. And they play and they search you out and they seek you out.
Right.
To dismantle you.
Right. That is true. Now, the one thing about unforgiveness, to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, unforgiveness messes with your trust. And trust is a strong deterrent of faith. And, and the Bible says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. So that's the danger of unforgiveness. And that is like, the side effects of not forgiving, you mess up that relationship. That relationship with you and God is tainted. It's not, it's not as strong as it could be. You know what I'm saying? So, and you want to hear God the first time.
Exactly. You do.
You know, you heard them the second, third time, it's too late. Then you out of season. There's a lot of stuff that can happen because of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Shawan, my beautiful co-host, I have a question for you. Because
Yeah.
we talk a lot, you know. So my question for you is, you know, I understand, you know, your relationship with you and your mom, because me and you have had a lot of stories, and we have that in common about our moms. So how did you get over that hump of when you was with, because you was your mother was young having you, and you had to pretty much raise your sisters and stuff. How did you get over that hump of trusting other people when you couldn't really trust your mom to do what she really needed to do?
Well, I mean, although my mother did not perform all of her motherly duties, I guess you could say.
Right.
One thing that was different with her, even though she was doing wrong, it was like I never looked at her differently. I still had overwhelming love for her, even when other people didn't. So I think my situation was a lot different because our roles switched, you know, where I became like the parent. So I parented her. So I protected her. You know what I mean? When other people didn't. And yeah, we grew up together too, you know, and I pretty much took care of my mother until she passed. But um, I think my biggest issue was I always was angry at how other people treated her. I felt like, okay, well, you know she's doing wrong. You don't have to keep throwing the negative stuff in her face. You know what I mean? Are you going to help her? What are you going to do to help? You know, and nobody wanted to help, but everybody wanted to talk.
Condemn, okay.
You know, and that was the biggest thing that I had to deal with growing up as a child. And I think that's what caused a lot of my unforgiveness issues because to be honest, I mean, to be real, I just forgave my grandmother like in the last couple of months. Wow. And I'm 47. Wow. You know, I've been holding on to that for years. All because, you know, my grandmother had to take us in. You know, my mom, she was in and out of rehabs and in and out of trouble, you know. So she ended up taking me and my sister in. But my grandmother wanted to be my mom. You know, she wanted that title. She said, well, I'm doing all of this for you and your mama not here and I'm taking care of you. And I'm like, but still, you know, I respect you for being my grandmother. I love you for that. Right. But that's what you are. You're not my mom.
That's right.
You know, and I think that was like the clash that we've had for so many years. But yeah, I'm at that place now where, you know, I've been through too much now to keep holding a grudge or to keep feeling the anger and, you know, the emotion attached to it. You know, I had to be willing to take the step to say, hey, I need to do this for me, not for her, not for anybody else, but for me.
Okay, a quick question for both of y'all. What do you think puts us at the brink of forgiveness? Like, what unctions us to say, okay, look, this has to happen. Like, what is it the what you hold and what it does and building anxiety? Is it the fact that, okay, you're getting older and I'm too old for this? Or what is the deciding factor that says, hey, it's really time to forgive and stop playing the game?
I think it's a medley of a lot of things. But for me, I knew that in order for me to go where I'm going and where I am right now, I had to do that because every time I would get down on my knees, it would pop up and I said, it would stop me. And then I would try to do something else and then it'll stop me again. And you talked about trust, David. You got to trust people to be who they are.
Facts. That's facts.
You really do. Right. And when you decide, you know, I know a lot of things about my mom and now it doesn't bother me. It used to. I'm like, that's who she is.
Right.
So because I know these things, I can't hold her captive because she does certain things with everybody. It's just not me. It's not like a target. It's just who that person is. And just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Right.
Facts.
Right. And so my thing is, I decided to trust people to be whoever they tell me they are, whoever they display themselves to be. I trust you to be that.
Mm. How about you, Miss Shawan? How about you?
David. David gets you, huh, Shawan?
Yeah.
All the time. All
Yeah.
the
I
time.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love this room. I love this. Listen, I love it. You
How
are
about you?
so good at it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, honestly, I kind of concur with everything that Robin was saying. It's at a place for me where you do have to just honor where people are at. You know, there's no frills with it. This is where they are, and you have to
Right.
accept it as that. You know, I think for me too, I always had expectations of them being somebody else. Or maybe you could be this, or maybe you could do this differently, or do that differently,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just respecting what I saw,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
and what I was dealing with. I couldn't accept that
Mm-hmm.
because that wasn't what I wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I couldn't accept that. But I'm at a place now where I needed to do it for me. I was tired. I was going through the highs and the lows, and it was too many lows and it was highs, you know. So I just got tired of the up and down. And it's like, hey, Shawan, you can be at a level of success or even at a level of peace if you
Right.
just release some of this stuff. Like
Exactly.
my favorite song is Erykah Badu's Bag Lady. And I never understood the song until I really listened to it more intently. And it literally
Right.
represented my life because I'm carrying all this baggage, all this hurt, all this regret, all of this unforgiveness, all of this pain, all of this brokenheartedness, all of this, anguish, all of this stuff. And I'm still trying to keep a brave face, but I'm tired of carrying all of this stuff. I had to learn to release some of those things. I had to learn to put some of those bags down because it was slowing me down. It
Yeah.
was keeping me from where I needed to be. So, yeah.
Now, for me, to answer real quick, when you have a relationship with Christ, unforgiveness is a heaviness, and it's like it will not relinquish the weight of it until you do it. That's what unforgiveness is to me. It's like a heaviness that you don't want to bear, and with being unforgiving, I was thinking about this when y'all was talking. Unforgiveness is a hard thing to do for a lot of people because it forces you to have to deal with you in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And a lot of people don't want to deal with themselves in it. Pride comes into play. Your ego comes into play. I ain't got no problem. Why should I have to do all that? I ain't got to do it. They need to forget. They need to apologize to me. So you kind of go back and forth with that. But you got to understand, like they always say, it's letting you off the hook too. Because, what I'm saying, you're not in that prison. You're not, you don't carry that burden no more. And then when you forgive, God opens up, just like what you said with your mom, Robin, God opens up everything when you release the burden. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It does. Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? A lot of times when we are on the road to forgiveness, but until we get there, it, just like you say, the closet, we start putting things in the closet. We're just dumping things. I'm not going to do this because listen, they did this to me. So you keep building and building on the unforgiveness. And then there becomes resentment and hatred and malice. And then you're angry because you have this inside of you. And so when it's time to forgive, you forgot you got all those clothes.
Yeah.
All of that stuff piled up. So now you're going to have to start unloading. So you're going to have to start dealing with the things that you put on top of the unforgiveness to get to the healing.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you got all this stuff in the closet. And you're like, if you have to deal with yourself, self-introspection, self-evaluation, you're going to find that out that you did a little bit of something inside there too. Yeah. So you don't want to face that, just like you said, David. So now you got to face you.
Right.
And then this is the crazy thing. Some of the things that you're not forgiving them for, you have done as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
That is fact.
Exactly.
She always goes off on everybody, but then you do it as well. My mother and I were so similar.
Yeah.
The very thing I didn't like was the very thing that I would do.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
You have to have, somebody say accountability, right? prolific.
Right.
You have to have accountability.
Right.
You have to have self-introspection. And I think that's what Shawan was doing. She's like, listen, I ain't got time for this. I'm gonna let her off the hook. I'm gonna let myself off the hook. My mom is gone to be with the Lord. I'm
Right.
dealing with something that ain't even worth
Right.
dealing with anymore.
Right.
Let's just let's wrap it up so that I can move on. I can't live there anymore. Some of you still living at the old address, and he wants to take you to the new address.
That's it.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing about forgiveness. God just wants you to do it. Period.
And he's gonna do the rest.
Here's the receipt. Jesus was on the cross. He had 2 robbers on the cross next to him.
Yes.
This man did wrong his whole life.
Wait a minute.
He
Did
said-
you say receipt?
Right. So the robber said, "Hey, God, I want to forgive all my sins. I don't know I did wrong, and Jesus said, you will join me in the land of
He
paradise."
sure did. He sure
After
did.
this man did wrong his whole life, he just wants you to do it.
He just wants you to do it.
Period.
He just wants you to do it. And once you do it, a world of opportunity opens up for you. Every door that you ever wished for begins to,
It does.
and you're like, whoa.
It does.
You can feel the wind. That's the
The
freedom of it all.
The
When you
freedom.
forgive.
It does.
Oh my goodness, David, you're so right. I'm just so glad that I decided to forgive my mother. I don't even think I would be here in this seat talking to you guys had I not done that. Had I not done that.
Right.
That's
right.
how important it is.
Right.
There's a remnant of people that are waiting on you to forgive so that you can participate with your purpose and do the thing that you need to do to get them where they need to go.
You know, Robin, you said something, and I'm probably gonna be thinking about it and talk to Shawan about
Do I
it
need
after
receipts?
But when you said something that I have never heard a human being say, and when I tell you it blessed me, and I can't get my mind off of it. When you said the first woman you loved you couldn't trust, that is nasty. Because I'm going back to when, me and my mom's relationship. Then I'm going back to my relationships with women.
There you go.
Then I'm going back to my relationship with my daughter.
There you go.
Like all of it connects. And when you can't trust the first woman or the first man.
Or the first man.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a problem.
I couldn't trust my dad or I couldn't trust my mother.
Yeah.
So like you got to be at ground zero to trust. That's a lot.
And do you know, let me tell you, David, what's so crazy?
Go ahead.
I think I was 38 years old and I had been in ministry for a long time. I'm 47 now. So that was almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
I remember telling God, I said, I don't trust you because I never had an example on how to trust a man. I was so transparent with him. And this is the way I said it. I said, I don't trust you. Because, if you're a daddy's girl, I watch women that are daddy's girls. Oh, my God. They say, God did it. And they have such a belief and such a girly-like tendency.
Right.
And I was more
Right.
hard and vicious and, businesswoman. I softened up a lot, but I was a go-getter, aggressive,
Right.
Because I had to be that way. I grew up in Chicago and my mom wasn't there. My dad was on crack cocaine. He's not anymore. But at the time, I did not know a relationship between a father and a daughter. And I would look at women that had that relationship and they were like, my daddy gonna do it for me. So they already had a trust. When God told them he was gonna do something, they knew how to trust a man immediately.
Correct.
But so when God kept telling me,
Good point.
Robin, I'm gonna give you land that you did not have to pay for. I'm gonna do this for you. And I couldn't believe it because I had never had a man tell me the truth.
How do you make that transition? How did you make that transition though? To
After I told God the truth about how I felt about him.
There it is, right there. There it is.
And when I told him the truth,
right
I remember that scripture, like what we were taught. He said, get all thy expectations from the Lord. I love that scripture. Let me tell you, scripture shouldn't just be scriptures and you should, I know the word. I done read it front to back.
Gotta apply.
It's ever living. That means that the scriptures give you life and it changes for you as you get older. I had read that scripture plenty of times.
Right.
But it didn't take root in me until I got on my knees. I said, I don't trust you. Everybody come to me and they tell me, I can tell everybody else how to trust you because it seemed like that's, but I don't trust you.
But you know what, Rob, me and Shawan had this conversation too. God is just not my God. He's my friend too.
He's my friend.
People don't look at God because they always reverence God. But God wants you to be real. Hey,
He's my friend.
tell me how you feel.
How you really feel.
I mean, because he respects that. Because he knows you ain't gonna give that to everybody.
Oh no.
You know, I always say my favorite phrase of praise is vulnerability is expensive.
Is it? Baby, sometimes vulnerability have gotten people locked up.
That's the truth.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything
Right.
you say and do can be used against you in the court of law.
Right.
David, what's
Right.
up with you tonight? You hitting it. I'm telling you. Shawan, I don't know how you deal with him.
I'm telling you, this is all day, every day.
It is expensive. It is. And it's valuable.
Yes.
We need it when we're married. It's vulnerability. It means intimacy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You'll tell somebody a secret. That's what I mean when you get locked up. You'll tell somebody a secret, and then you're being vulnerable with them, and then they have your blood in Georgia, New York, California.
They use
and
it
you
again.
find out, and you kill them.
They use it against you. People don't know how to trust, and people don't know how to trust. So my thing is, how am I gonna forgive if I don't trust you? So it's a counterattack of it.
It's
so
a counterattack.
So you got to trust God. You got to
Absolutely.
You got to go to the head. You can't go to the the representative people. You got to go straight to the source for real.
You do.
And so my thing is, and I think that's why with me, I'm uncompromising of my relationship with Christ. And when you're uncompromising in that, and you don't play with that,
right?
You don't care about people that are non-factors. You don't care about people that struggle in that area. You pray for them, but me, in order for me to do this, and how you said, how I'm talking, I had to deal with David. It took me a long time to love David.
You had to deal with
I'm
David.
not going to allow you to mess that relationship up.
That's right.
So my thing is that in order to even do this, I had to be truthful. I had to get it. Okay, God, I'm burning all this out. So how do you want to use me? I talk a lot. Okay, we're going to talk. Okay, so you want me to do a show? Okay, who I'm going to do it with?
Who I'm going to do it with?
Me and Shawan start talking. Okay, Shawan, what's the show going to be? Shaking up I said, Shawan, pray about it. She came up with shaking up the algorithm. I said, what? That's it. So God just led it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to pull teeth to figure it out and wonder what God. I said, God, show me what you need for me to see, and that's what He did.
You were vulnerable.
Facts, vulnerable, facts, vulnerable.
So when you became vulnerable and you became teachable and pliable, so many people they're not flexible and they're not pliable. They're not teachable. Facts. So how do you want this huge God, this amazing God, to help you when you don't trust Him? But you say that's just like people. Robin, I said everything you said. Okay, all right. Well, are you getting the results? Because something took place. You want me to hear your words, but it's not penetrating your heart. So when you told God, you said, "Listen, hey, whatever you want me to do." Now you know who I am, God. You know I talk a lot. You know I need. Listen, you know I need to be intellectually stimulated. So you need.
Come on, Robin.
David?
Come on now.
You got me moving in the spirit here.
Come on now. Come on. Get it all out.
I need intellectual stimulation. You know that I'm a very, very intuitive person. So I need to be in a situation where all of the things that you put inside of me are utilized.
I even went so far as to say, God, I dare you do it. Put me in it, do it.
Yeah. And double dare you.
And we're here. How you doing, Robin? How you doing?
How you doing?
Right. So I mean, but if you don't, understand the power of forgiveness, and you don't forgive yourself for making past mistakes and dealing with the wrong people and divorce and bad relationships, and you let them off the hook, because if you don't let them off the hook, you're still in the prison. You're still in the cage with them. You're still there.
How they do on that? Listen, let me tell y'all something. This is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
I was married to my first husband for 20 years. And I tell people I had a successful marriage. They said, well, how did you have that? Because everything that I went through was to be used for this marriage and this life. I needed it. I needed every feeling. I needed everything of rejection. And I thank Him. And sometimes you have to understand what you are made out of.
Facts.
That let me know that I'm a resilient woman.
Facts.
And that I can go through anything.
That's facts.
And he was necessary for my growth and development.
Yes.
Right.
It was it successfully did what it was supposed to do. So then you can let people off the hook because you're like, you were supposed to be there. People that didn't like you, you still mad at them because they didn't like you in high school.
Right.
Who cares? You needed that.
Right.
Thank them. Say, girl, you know what? I really enjoyed how you did what you did in high school. She don't have to know it. Just say, you know what? I loved seeing you. Thank God for you.
well, people use situations like that. They use them. They use them as things that bring them down, but they don't use them as learning tools.
Some people are addicted to the toxicity. They're addicted to toxic. They're addicted to all of the bad things that people say. They love it. They don't know how to exist outside of it. They don't know how to go forward without that. That's why they go back and they participate with people that gossip and lie because that's a comfortable place for them.
Right. That's fact. This is facts. This is facts. Whew. I feel fed. How about you guys?
We got receipts. I'm not fooling with you, David. Shawan, listen. He is out of control.
I know.
I am crazy with a purpose. Now, now we done talked about a lot of things about unforgiveness, and we're gonna
You think we did good? We covered enough?
We did, but
what are they saying in the chat? What are they saying in the chat?
They said stay back.
There was still something else I wanted.
Come on through, Robin. Oh, they said a lot in the chat. A lot. What I wanted to say was because I want to segue that into how people can find you on all the social media platforms. And I want people to hear the amazing event you have coming in August. I think it's thebomb.com. People, the world need to hear this. Come on,
my God.
Hey, y'all need to sit down, chill out.
Oh my God.
This is bomb right here.
Before I tell them how to get in touch with me, I just want to thank my amazing team. I want to thank Arinthia. She is amazing. I thank God for my team. I never thought my life would be like this. I never thought I would say I have a team, a serious, real team that helps me go to the next level, that is helping me go to the next level.
Right.
I processed it in my mind 2 years ago. And my husband would say, you need somebody to help you. And I was like, I can do it because I had been an entrepreneur for 25 years and I had did it almost by myself.
Right.
So I didn't understand the magnitude of where God was about to take me.
Right.
And here I am. I retired 3 weeks ago from a 25-year business in the hair and beauty industry. I left it, not because I wasn't making money. I left it because this calling that I have on my life, this mandate, this purpose was far greater than that. And I thought that I would do hair until the day I died. I thought that I would be in the beauty industry forever.
Right.
And I remember I started getting the pull, and that was about 2.5 years ago. And God said, I have need of you. But I thought he wanted me to go back to the pulpit. I said, well, I guess I'm going to go back to the pulpit. And I preached. I went and preached. I did a few things. And the people were blessed. And he said, that's not it. See, you always think because you have a calling as far as evangelist, a prophet, a teacher, that's the only thing that he wants, the area.
Right.
We have this huge world with over 8,000 people. And you think that's the only thing he wants you to do in this earth?
Correct.
That's the principal thing.
Right.
But it's not the only thing. So I decided to go into motivational speaking and coaching. But I said, I want to take some people with me. And I know there's some amazing women that are doing amazing things in their community, and they're not getting any recognition. They're not being seen. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take them with me. But you heard me say the first woman that I ever loved, I didn't trust her.
Trust. Yes.
So how are you going to take these women with you and you didn't trust? That was 2.5 years ago.
Ron, I'm trying not to throw something at this thing. You playing too much now. Come on now. Slow down. I'm trying to calm down.
David, don't you start with me.
Go ahead.
So that was the platform. When I forgave my mother, Everything that I learned about women and how I interacted with them, the Lord used it as a tool for coaching. Now I can understand both sides of the spectrum. So that made me powerful in that.
Right.
So the very thing that you fight and the very thing that you have to forgive, you must know that that's the very thing. Maybe that's the thing that God wants to use in your life to take you to the next level and to take others to the next level. So I said, I'm going to create stages for women. I didn't say pulpit in churches. I said stages where they can take their gifts and their talents and be recognized. I want people to see them for who they really are. Not the woman that went through trauma, the woman who was rejected, the woman with low self-esteem. I want to showcase women that went through all of that, but still came out on top. Still was able to write their books, still able to be CEOs of their own companies.
Right.
And still be able to say, I am an overcomer, and really mean it. When you walk on a stage, it empowers you.
Right.
When you take the mic, it unmutes you so that you're able to tell people, I'm an overcomer. When the more you talk, that's why I tell people on Clubhouse, the more you talk, the more you heal. When you hear your voice, that's the ear gate. That's why you can't let everybody in your ear gate. Start muting and deleting people, because when they get in your ear gate, they control you. It's just like commercials. You'll hear a commercial. It's not that you're practicing like we're at the choir. It goes into your subconscious and it takes root. Come on now.
That's
so
true.
I'm creating stages.
That is true.
And we have what we call the summit, the women's summit. The women's summit.
Right.
Pass the baton. I'm going to pass down to you what I've got. I'm not afraid to share it. And you go run with it, girl. And then you take the baton and you pass it down and give them what you got. And you go run with it. And it's almost like a domino effect. So what I'm doing is you begin to duplicate yourself. Not like a robot, but you take the best of you and you give it to somebody. You take the intimate part of you, the vulnerability, and you give it to somebody.
Right.
So that they can do greater things. That's what a leader does. You inspire them to do greater things than what you do.
Correct.
So August the 18th and the 19th, we have Pass the Baton Summit. And Shawan is going to be one of the speakers that are going to grace the stage. Shawan, y'all see her? She's going to grace the stage, and she's going to make an impact with 23 other women that are going to make an impact. I didn't want 2 speakers. I didn't want 3. I wanted 24 speakers. Let me tell you something. I didn't want to do a program. A program is for the person that's throwing it. We got to make the program go over. No, I'm not doing that. The women that are coming, this is their time to shine. This is their time to talk about their products and services. I want everybody to eat. And Shawan can tell you this. I want their businesses displayed all throughout the venue. I wanted them to have barcodes, QRC codes, so you can reach them immediately. I want them to have an opportunity to be seen. So somebody can say, wow, you're really doing a thing. Yes, because Black women are the most innovative, the most creative, the most beautiful women on the face of this earth. We birth out so many different things in this earth. I'm sitting on a couch and I dare say that it came from a Black woman because she gave birth to a Black man. And I want you guys to know that this summit, Pass the Baton Summit, is going to be like none other, because it's not a program. It's a movement. It's a movement, David. And we're going to have some receipts. I'll make sure that my team gets them out to you. You'll have them promptly on the 18th and the 19th.
Now let me ask you a question. Now, people may be hearing you for the first time on here. Now, I'm pretty sure I would assume that you probably got it already filled. So how do people get to the next one? Or how do people go about getting in contact with you for the next one? If you're going to
next event, if you go to robineffect.com, that's the way to get in touch with me.
Robineffect.com.
Robin Effect, EFFECT.
I'm glad
SUTA.com.
you spelled that.
It's in the description box. It's in the description box.
You know how I got that? You know how I got that? Because one of the people came into the clubhouse and they were saying, you know, something about Robin. It's the Robin effect. And my team caught it. And so they just ran with it. And I said to myself, oh my God, this is crazy. Right. And so we branded it. And so now that's the way to contact me. I am going to be having more events. 2024 is going to be the most amazing time because from this event, I am going to help women become a millionaire.
Okay, well, I have a question. I ain't no punk. I'm going to ask you straight off the hip.
Please ask me.
Now, when you going to do stuff for the brothers, for the men,
and that's,
for the men's?
Do you know that's what's been happening to me? Oh, my God.
Because we need it way more than y'all do.
David, I didn't know you guys liked me like that. I didn't know.
Stop playing me, Robin. Now we family. Stop playing me. You know me, and we need it.
You know what? I can't do you. But to answer your question, I have had so many men, and so Shawan can attest to this, come through the clubhouse.
Yes.
And I said to myself, I cannot ignore it now.
I'll be there.
Yeah, it's gotten so big that I cannot ignore it.
Go ahead and do that. Make that happen.
So the team and I are working on that.
Praise the Lord and all his disciples.
It was so crazy. You know, one of my clients, her husband called me. He owns a car service business. He said, Robin, can you help me do something here in Jacksonville for men? And I looked at him and I said, no. And at that time, it didn't dawn on me. He said, what you're doing is so amazing. The men want to get involved. I said, really?
Yes. Now that's that receipt right there. That's that receipt right there.
That's the receipt. And listen, we're going to do that. We're going to do that.
Yes.
We're going to have an amazing event for men and women. Okay. Is that okay? I can't be the only
because y'all got something by yourself. We want something.
You know what's so crazy, David?
What's that?
I'm the only woman in my household, and everywhere I go, my husband has a basketball team, and he has his friends, and I'm always. Sometimes they'll say, "Well, Robin, you can stay." I said, "The wives aren't here. You can stay with us." I said, "No, I got to go." I'm the only one. My husband is almost 6'7", and I got all these tall guys around me like trees.
Right.
And it's like they don't want me to have any friends or nothing. David, what am I gonna do? No, David, are you gonna help me orchestrate a lot of things?
That's fine. All you gotta do is say it. I'm waiting on you to say it. That's all you have to say.
Listen, we are planning 2024. It is going to be amazing. You guys don't want to miss nothing. Connect with me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Clubhouse. Facebook and Clubhouse. Right now, you can get everything you need to know about me. You'll see my family. You'll see, I don't expose a lot of things. I don't give a lot of things, but I give you enough to know who I am. Right. You know, the heart of a person, what they feel, the things that they like and the things that they admire. And I really, really admire. This is one thing that I do admire about women is that we have a resilience that is like none other. And we do have the capacity to forgive. But one thing that we do lack is to forgive ourselves. Because we'll accept we'll accept you back. Yeah. And then what we do, we're hard on ourselves. We're even mad that we took in the person that did us wrong. And then we put it back on ourselves.
Right.
So forgive yourself. Forgive yourself.
Okay.
That's the first step. So that you can be all that in a bag of chips.
Thanks.
David,
I guess I'll welcome the men and women summit. I think I'll welcome that.
Let's do that first and see how you guys behave. You got to be on a trial period now. You got to do that.
Oh, we get a 90. Well, we get a trial period.
Yeah, just one.
Oh, just okay. All right. Okay.
What if I do 2 and 2? 2 men on the stage, 2 women on the stage. And we do that. And guess what? We don't compete.
As long as I'm one of them, that's fine. We can do that.
Oh my.
Now I'm gonna be a whole problem wherever it's at.
Yes, he is.
I'm gonna be a matter of fact, I'm speaking first. Everybody's speaking for me.
That's right. First. You can listen, you said it first, so you're gonna speak first.
Bet.
And do
Let's do
you know that, the interesting thing that's happening at the summit?
what?
My husband has got a team of men that are serving us. So we're going to have men that are serving us from the time you walk in to the time you get out your car. No women. There are going to be no women.
So you gonna have a bunch of Isaacs there to serve, huh? Okay. So we can't have our own stuff. Stop playing with me, Bobby. Stop playing. Stop playing.
They're going to be speaking, but they're going to be speaking another language while they're there. They're speaking. They putting that meat on the grill. My husband's putting that turkey neck in the gumbo. David, don't you start with me. Listen, I'm not here for that. I came to do an interview. You're doing too much.
Okay. It'll be
Hey,
right.
Christopher. I see Christopher. He's one of the men that are going to be on the panel as well.
Okay.
You see Christopher in the audience?
I see him. Yeah. Oh, it's flooded. Oh, it's off chain in this chat.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, y'all got me in here
yeah.
sweating. You know I'm going to get
it's
a change.
lit. The chat is lit. Is lit up. Yeah.
I love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. It's just an honor. And David, you're so humble, because when you come into the clubhouse, you'll grace the stage and you'll be in there and you'll sit in there and you'll see what's going on. And then you'll come back, and that there's so many people there. You're like, I know what she's doing because you do what I do.
And what's that?
And Shawan, listen, we get people to open up.
That's true. That's true.
And Shawan is the same way. She'll wait. She'll be like, okay.
But see, as you can tell, how I am on here, I probably start now. I won't shut up and I'll take over. I'm sorry. So I'm just saying, hey, you want me to lie to you the truth? Which one we do?
Well, I don't know. You know how people that I just want to hear a lie. I just want to hear a lie. People love to hear lies for some reason. They don't like to hear the truth.
But no, I love your clubhouse. When I first heard it, I was blown. You know what I'm saying? I was blown for and I'm not easy to impress. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just not. I really don't care. But when you spoke and I heard how you, it wasn't even so much what you said, it's how you said it. I was like, she different off rip. For the first 5 minutes, it kept me in that clubhouse the whole time. The first time I was in there the whole time.
Who told you about it?
My co-host.
Shawan!
Yeah, my co-host.
See, that's why. Listen, you need Shawan. You need her.
I know. I already know.
So why was you talking about my girl's hair?
Hey, this is like my term of endearment. This is how we bond.
I know.
Yeah.
She loves you, and she, even if you're not there, she speaks about you.
Look at
and
the Lord,
that's something to be respected.
Yeah.
A lot of people work with each other and they don't have a respect for each other or love, a genuine love. They can't even go out to eat with each other. They're just doing a job. They're just doing a job.
Right.
So when you have an opportunity to work with someone you really care about, now that is a movement in itself.
Facts. That's facts. That's facts.
So I commend you guys.
Right. Well, I am glad that you came. We had fun. We laughed. We joked. We talked about the Lord. We done broke strongholds.
Did you say the Lord?
Yeah, the Lord. I'm
Lord.
country just like your husband.
WD.
I'm country too. As you can tell.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the Lord. We're gonna talk about everything, and it was so good. I know your schedule is ridiculous, but we got to bring you back on.
It comes with the territory.
I know. Too much is given, much is required. I already know.
It is, but it's okay. I'll come back. Come back. I'll make time.
Hey, now y'all heard that? So he said that's a receipt too. I want you to say.
I have fun with you guys. It was easy. You made it easy for me.
Lovely. So I'm glad you came. We love you. I will be. You'll be on there. You on there in the morning too, right?
8 a.m. every morning on Clubhouse.
See,
sometimes
that's
I go to
that's
sleep.
part of my struggle because I feel like, is the Lord up at 8? Lord,
but I gotta tell you something. I haven't told anybody.
What?
I'm doing a master class next Friday evening. So we're gonna have it out. So maybe you can join the master class.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to put it out on Facebook. I'm having my team do all of the ins and outs, and we're going to do a master class, and we're going to get in there and we're going to tackle some things so that we can get through some things and come out on top this year.
Okay.
Because we don't need a New Year's resolution. We just need to do it now.
Come on. See, you made me throw my phone again. I need my phone. I can't
Well,
throw my
would you
phone.
stop wanting? Well, find like a little toy phone and throw it.
Hey, the
Do
conviction,
like this.
the conviction makes me want to throw stuff. That's all it is. The conviction. That's all.
I'm coming. I'm ready to go. I told my assistant, I said, I don't have a plan B. After leaving 25 years in the business, I don't have a plan B. This is it.
Right.
And my husband said, we don't have a plan B. It's it. This is it.
I love that. That's dope. That's when you completely believe and trust in it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You have faith in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe in Shawan. I believe that when she comes here, she's going to rock the stage and somebody's life is going to be changed. I believe in the other speakers.
Yeah. I definitely believe in that too.
I do.
I've been having her running beside the car to get her ready like a Rocky regiment. All that. You know what I'm saying? And, feeding her raw eggs. She ready. Oh, she going to be all right.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Shawan.
He tried.
May the God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Jacob protect you and seal you until the day of promise. I'm playing a blood covering over you right now, Shawan. Close your eyes. Lift your hands. Let me anoint you with the oil. Wait a minute. Where's the oil? This is one of the centerpieces for the room.
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm all right.
David, you out of control.
I'm sorry.
You're not. Now that was a story.
This is the normal. You're right. I lied right there. But this is the normal. This is the normal.
Yeah.
See, I deserve that.
So you're gonna have me speak at that conference. I'm tearing up. Don't play with me. I'm gonna.
You're
break.
not coming, David.
What? In August?
Yes.
Right? Dang, y'all ain't gotta speak at once. I'm figuring it out. I'll put it that way. I know when the date is, 18th and 19th. I'm gonna figure that thing out.
Just bring your air mattress. Somebody will give you room.
You know what? I rebuke
Y'all know
that.
how we get down now. Listen.
She said that.
My husband and I keep an air mattress in our truck. Because sometimes we'll get somewhere and they don't have room in the inn. So we're gonna make room on the floor. I know how to get down. I have not arrived. And even when I do arrive, we're still gonna keep our air mattress.
And I'm the comedian.
So
You're
I
the
can give you
comedian
some
too,
fried
ma'am.
chicken, some macaroni and cheese, some dressing, some cornbread dressing, listen, I need all of that.
You're the comedian too, ma'am. It's not just
I
me.
am.
I
like to have fun. You got me messed up, David. You got me messed up. Shawan, don't laugh at him. It makes it worse. You see my face?
It does. It
Makes
does.
it worse.
But you're laughing on the inside. It's okay. It's all right. But like I said, it was an amazing show, amazing podcast. We got to have you back on again. And I'm looking forward to that master's class and all the stuff you're talking about. 2014. I done put all this in my mental Rolodex. The way my Capricorn set up, I can pull it out. So I'm gonna hold you accountable for all of it.
Did you just say the way your Capricorn set up?
Yes,
It is the way my Capricorn set up.
Not the way your checking account set up, but how.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, all that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
so
okay.
2024 is the year for you.
I believe that.
You're going to be ready.
Absolutely.
And those of you who are listening,
stay ready.
Listen, don't let things sneak up on you and you're not ready. Get ready. Be ready. Because you never know when someone may call upon you.
Facts. It's facts. Now, I'm going to get some good rest because I know you be up at the crack of dawn.
I do. 4 a.m.
So I'm about to go to the Lord and set my alarm clock for your situation. I'm gonna have to because that's early, but I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna figure it out.
Listen, David, you got to be there in August. Okay. You have to be there because the reason why you have to be there because you need to have an impartation of it.
Okay.
It's almost like, and I'm not telling you're grown, and I discussed that this morning with people. You're grown, and you got to be responsible for your own life.
Correct.
But there comes a time when you know where you have to be, and you just have to be in the presence of it so that you could. It's not like why, even though I have on the registration, you can see it live. I've set up the link. When you go to register for the event, there is another link for you to register live where you can stay at home and watch the event as well. So those of you who go to robineffect.com, you'll be able to register for the virtual part of the event. So you'll be able to be there, would not be there in the actual building, but you will be able to see us and partake of what's going on. And I'm going to put a twist in it. Those of you who are going to be there virtually, I'm going to have a way for you to unmute yourselves as well and to give your input. I want everybody to feel welcome.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's okay. A little dangerous.
And then you can sleep you can be in your own bed. You don't need an air mattress.
Right. Bless her heart, guys. She means well. She does. It's all right. But I'm going to bring this amazing podcast to a close. Beautiful Robin and my co-host. You know what I'm saying? I know it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I know. I understand. So
the color purple.
See, nobody was ready. They thought that there was gonna be a truck. Hey, nobody was ready. This was
ready.
This was good. So, imparting my lovely co-host, I always have words of wisdom to partake.
Ooh, come on, Siobhan.
Go ahead.
Yes, my famous words of wisdom are: love is optional, but grace is free. Ooh. And allow yourself to give some grace and extend some grace to someone else.
That's right. Love is optional. Grace is free. You right about that.
Mine is you ain't got to go home, but you got to get no, I ain't going to say that.
Mine is spatial visit.
I was going to say that. I didn't say it. Okay.
I said it for
you. Mine is it's called the have and the have-nots. You know, always be thankful for what you have, because what you don't have, God ain't giving you that because you ain't ready for that. But prepare for that. So I always say, always think about what you have more than what you don't have. The have and the have-nots. You know the difference. So that's my thing with that, because that helped me. That blessed me years ago.
Oh yeah.
I want to thank everybody who came. I want to thank everybody who was here. Robin, I will be at that show in the morning. I will get a lot. Matter of fact, I'm going to sleep right after. As soon as I click off, I'm going to sleep.
Are you taking melatonin?
No, but I'm still tired. But my thing is, I don't know where you pull your energy from, and you be loud and all that stuff. I'll be in the bathroom and I can hear you. You loud, but it's okay.
I am loud.
It's okay though.
And you know what? I've been like this since I was little. I used to get whoopings for it.
You're
too loud. Now my voice is paining me. See?
I know, right? So I'm trying to incorporate being loud too. I want to be loud with you.
But you don't want to be loud and be like a sounding brass and a tingling cymbal.
This is true.
We got to get off of here because we're going to keep talking.
We are.
I'm sick of you, David. Shawan, my heart goes out to you, my love. I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to talk to you. Shawan, what you're going through, you can get help, baby. There is help for you. There's somebody you can call. 1-800, find somebody. Call this hotline. You can get help. He is ruining you. He is a hot mess. HAUTE.
All right. But I still love you, Robin. It's okay.
David.
And that's why I'm going to bug you in the morning.
I know you are.
Don't be taking your time to put me at the top.
No. I'm going to tell you to unmute first.
I ain't no punk. I'm going to be there.
And you better not get up there talking smack.
Okay.
I'm looking for you, David. You're not looking for me. I'm looking for you.
Okay, I'll be there. All right. I love y'all. And you have a good night. And we will be there in the morning, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Shawan. Thank you, David. I appreciate you guys so much.
All right.
All right.
find us on our social media page.
Tune in for our next video. Make sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you won't miss out on any future episodes.
To book your next speaking engagement or for coaching services, check the details in the description box.